carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's Newcastle United versus Manchester City. The preview. Hope you're all okay in this very, 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 very wet weather that we've had, certainly in the northeast. I don't know what it's like down south with you guys, but it is pissing down here. So St James's Park pitch is probably going to be very wet on Saturday morning, but we'll have a look at things in due course. But thank you very much for watching. My name is Paul. I'm joined by my two muckers, Alex and Billy. Sam will be back tomorrow night, and we will have our score predictions as well a bit later on in the show. But if you do enjoy it, please hit that thumbs up button, and of course subscribe if you're new, if you like what you see, and of course make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. You can support the channel, of course, in the usual two ways. First of all, by membership, which is the join button just underneath us. We do have some good prizes coming up for members, including Derek Wright's book. He sent me 2 books, and I've received them. So big thank you to Derek. Fantastic read. So I'll be giving one of them away to the members as well. And of course, super chats are available if you hit that $ just underneath the live chat, and that will guarantee your comments to be read out live on the show. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening, all that in Viewerland.
Are we starting to get excited for Saturday's game, guys, or are we still a bit nervous, shall we say?
I'm excited. I'm excited that we're playing, but it's the hardest game in the calendar, isn't it? So,
well, apart from the game at the Eddie Howe, yes, I'd agree. Speaking of Manchester City, of course, the breaking news this afternoon is that it looks like they've won their case over the Premier League with regards to sponsorships, etc. This is nothing to do with the 115 charges, by the way. This is simply to do with their challenge for the sponsorships. Now, if they win this, Billy, and by all accounts they are going to win it, this is big for Newcastle United.
Yeah, it's huge. This is the law of believe Leicester City had instilled just after our takeover. With the backing of the red and white cards out, which means we can basically get somebody associated with the club to sponsor us, whether that be training ground or stadium, etc. Nothing's certain as yet, but the signs are positive. If that's the case, then Mr. Eels and Mr. Silverstone are going to be very busy, and hopefully extend our PSR kind of boundaries.
And of course, Alex, this means a lot more sponsorship deals can come in from Saudi Arabia, of course. So it's going to be a massive, massive plus for Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, let's wait and see what this means. It's not a guarantee.
Well, no, it's not. But I'm trying not to be Simon Cowlish tonight, Alex. You know, let's try and be positive, because the report, there's some big reporters have come out and said that it looks like Manchester City won the case. And I don't think that, the big names would put the names to it if it wasn't true.
Yeah, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. It's a very tricky one, isn't it, morally? And I appreciate that the horse has already bolted on that front. However, it's realistically, should there be something in place so that a country cannot put unlimited money into a club and then make a league uncompetitive? In theory, that makes sense. However, we're obviously quite frustrated that that's been happening, your Man Cities and your PSGs, and
Yeah.
as soon as we arrive, as soon as we take a seat at the table, it's like, no, sorry, different rules for you.
Indeed.
It is a little bit frustrating. So it's a step in the right direction when it comes to us getting what we want with our club, maybe being able to have more revenue and sponsorships. But it's very early doors. It seems like a breakthrough for that case. But there's a lot of hoops to jump through, going forward. So we'll wait and see.
Now, Laura is celebrating her 39th birthday on Saturday, so she's asked for 3 points. A lady giving out her age. I mean, what's going on? Is this the new modern day? I hope you have a smashing day, Laura. And 3 points would be great, wouldn't it? Just to let you know, guys, keep voting for us in the Football Content Awards for 2024. That link is pinned at the top of the description again. We need your votes more than ever now. Keep voting for us. You can do it on Twitter as well, by the way. If you're on, or X as it's called now, you just basically put at FCAs. So you'll add them and then say I vote for the Toon, or at the Toon Review, and that will class as a vote as well. So if you're on X, put at FCAs, it'll bring up a box and you select the Football Content Awards one, and then I vote for the Toon Review, and that will add a vote to us as well. So if you don't want to go through the voting process of clicking the link below, if you're on X, you can do it that way. Thank you, everybody that's voted so far. As I say, we need you more than ever now. We really want to bring something back for you, and it'll all be down to you guys. So thank you so much for your votes so far. But clear the cash, vote again. Just do what you need to do. Right, let's move on to the game itself. Now, obviously, Alex.
Could I just mention one more thing as well? It's kind of relevant to what you were just talking about with the Premier League stuff and the legal cases before we leave that. I saw something today. I forget which newspaper it is, so obviously we do need to credit them. So apologies if somebody could shout that out. So it's rumoured that the Premier League put aside £8 million for legal disputes to do with everything. I can't remember what kind of timescale they put on how long that 8 million was meant to be used for. And it's rumoured that it's going to be around 45 to 50 million for the total cases that they've had to go through so far. So that is more than 5 times the amount they've put aside. So the Premier League having to fight that much on the legal front is not sustainable. And surely there's a lot more clubs going to come out as well. There's a lot more going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Something's got to give here. You've got the government getting involved with an independent regulator. The Premier League can't afford.
Should we all not just come together and say, "Oh, bless the Premier League, bless them, twats"? It's about time something was coming their way, in my opinion. LG says they'll just change the rule again. Well, not if it's they can't. If there's a legal process in there, they can't. I mean, they'll try and come up with something else. Of course they will. We know they will. But this is quite huge.
Well, this was all hastily arranged, wasn't it? And the Red and White card side got Leicester to do it, who, of course, play at the King Power Stadium, a stadium sponsored by their owners, which is ridiculous in itself, really. Yeah,
I think this was enforced in December.
Yeah, just after the takeover.
The takeover happened in the October, so very quickly there was panic that we were just going to sponsor ourselves for £1 billion and then just rule the world. But yeah.
Daniel says you've got to get yourself to Aldi, Alex. Oktoberfest beers in Prost.
Oh, I may very well do.
There you go. Right. So it is Manchester City at the weekend. Now, as for what team Eddie Howe is going to put out, we will challenge ourselves to try and do some sort of first 11 towards the back end of the show. But, I mean, is there any poll that you guys would like to ask the viewers tonight, guys? I mean, anything you can think of?
Let us have a think about
that. Yeah, we've wrestled the major ones, haven't we? I mean,
well, should we just ask them if they would start Tonali and see what the percentage is?
Wow, that's a wasted poll, isn't it? It's going to be 99%.
What about Sean Stansted? What about him?
Sean Stansted. Oh. Yeah, for the viewers, yeah, you won't inside joke there. I was at work today typing out some work related documents, and instead of London Stansted, I typed in
Longstaff Stansted.
Longstaff Stansted or something like that.
Yeah.
London
Instead
Longstaff,
of-
wasn't it? Something like that.
London Longstaff,
London
yeah.
Longstaff or something. So
Yeah.
I'm just used to typing things for the show and typed in Longstaff and had to delete it. So
Yeah.
very tired.
Plot is being very quickly lost by Alex, ladies and gentlemen.
Longstaff International Airport. Yes, Tom.
It's coming
I
towards
think we
the end of the
should
week.
go for, should we play, I think maybe do a formation vote. Should
Okay.
we do a back five? Should we do the 4-2-3-1 that a lot of people would like us to move to? Should we do our standard 4-3-3 that Eddie always uses? And then
Right,
what
Alex,
could be a fourth? Sorry, go on, Paul. I know you need to keep up with this.
Slow down a minute. Right, so formation for Saturday. First one,
Back five.
back five. Second one,
The 4-3-3, the standard Eddie Howe formation.
Eddie's wife. Okay.
A 4-2-3-1. So we've got a creative number 10 behind the striker. A lot of people would like us to try that.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe a 4-4-2, Billy. I think a few people have shouted that out potentially.
Yeah, 4-4-2. Yeah, why not?
4-4-2.
See what everybody's thoughts are.
Right,
Could be-
there you go. The poll is up. We'll get that a bit later on. So, what formation would you play on Saturday? Back five, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, or a 4-4-2? We will come back to that a bit later on.
Not the Christmas tree. Somebody said a 4-3-2.
No,
We're not playing the Christmas tree.
no. Peter says Tonali has got to start. I put Kelly in and take Burn out. I fear Burn will get ripped a new one. Anthony Gordon on pole start or not? Well, he probably will start, to be fair. We need our best players on the pitch, and I know some of them aren't performing right now, but we have to go with the strongest possible side, surely, against Manchester City. Of course, Rodri won't be there. He's out for the season. Kevin De Bruyne is still a doubt for the game. I have a feeling he will play, but time will tell on that one. Anthony says Haaland back is a must to avoid backing off against Silva. Arsenal handled him well. Sorry, Alex, what are you going to say there?
I was just going to say the other injuries. I mean, Nathan Ake's definitely out. And Oscar Bob obviously has got a broken leg. So, yeah, those are the four.
Yeah. But still, the rest of them are, it's dangerous to say the least, shall we say.
Erling Haaland's on 10 goals.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's got 100 goals for Manchester City now, hasn't he? And in something like, what is it, 105 games?
Just 2 seasons, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And whatever we think of Haaland himself, or, you know, I mean, we wouldn't exactly say no to having Erling Haaland at Newcastle United, would we? So all of these opposition fans that are slagging him off, especially the Arsenal ones. Funny enough, Arsenal complaining again because he threw the ball at Gabriel after the equaliser. I thought that was quite funny, but I know it's not allowed, and he probably should have been booked for it. But, you know, it's always funny when it involves Arsenal and they kick off about everything. But whatever we think of him, no team in the world would say no to Erling Haaland, would they?
Absolutely not. It's a freak of nature. Absolute freak of nature.
Well, there was a certain section of our fan base in the summer saying that Isak's better than Haaland.
No.
He has certain aspects of his game that are better than Erling Haaland's, but the overall game and the goal return, I mean, it speaks for itself.
Not this season, anyway.
Definitely not.
I mean, well, we'll come on to Newcastle, obviously, in due course, because there's some players that really, really do need to step up. But that's why we're asking maybe about the formations, guys, because we need to try and work out something to get Isak going more than anything. Because we all know how deadly he is in front of goal, but it just hasn't happened so far. He's got one so far this season, which was, if he'd missed that, then questions would have been seriously asked from 3 yards out. I mean, Billy, we've got to give them a game, because it's pointless sitting back and parking the bus against them, isn't it? You know, we've proved in the past that if we can attack Manchester City, we can get something out of the game.
Yeah, that was how we got our draw with them in the league game, which is one of the best games I think I've ever seen. Actually, that 3-3.
Yeah,
the way we went at them that day was something to behold. But that was with a really up-fit Alan St. Maximin in the side, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We need Anthony Gordon to have a similar kind of game against Kyle Walker. Or Harvey Barnes, whoever it may be on that side. Could it be? Maybe.
Possibly. I tell you what, I was surprised to see Kyle Walker in the starting lineup for Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. Of course, Doku played as well. There was
Lots
some
of teams are playing full strength sides in the Carabao.
Yeah, there's been some very strong sides going out in the Carabao Cup this week.
He played 90 minutes as well, Kyle Walker did.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's fit as a fiddle, Kyle Walker, isn't he? I mean, we could say it doesn't really matter, but
I don't think we can sit back and just allow them to attack us, because inevitably they're going to break us down. They're used to that. They have that every week of the season. Even against Arsenal last week, they had it. So I think we do have to go at them, although in moderation, obviously. But I think we do have to take the fight to them, make them a bit nervous, and maybe get something out of the end that way.
Yeah. I mean, look, we have to be better defensive. We've certainly got to shore up that gap, Alex, between midfield and defence, haven't we? Because Manchester City exploited that at St James's Park last year. But, you know, it's been glaringly obvious for all season that there is a problem in that area of the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it depends very much on how Man City line up, because they have many different options of how they could start. Against Arsenal, that they went with Doku and Savio, Savinho, whatever we're calling him, on the wings, and it was a little bit more grounded. You know, Gundogan and Rodri in midfield. It was a bit different. It was a lot more wing play, patient build up. Obviously, they got the red card and then things changed. It was a little bit different. They've played the last few games. They played very differently to how we were used to them last year. There were lots of 10s in that little pocket and lots of little creative passes. They've looked a little bit different recently. But that being said, our fullback areas have not been fantastic. So Lewis Hall struggling to see a game out, rotating fullbacks quite heavily. You know, we've used Kelly, we've used Hall, Trippier, Livramento. So Doku and Savinho are both absolute beasts. And then they've got the creative 10s that could come in and do a different job, like Foden. So, I mean, they've got loads of different ways they could unlock us. So we've got to be very, very careful. If we play like we did against Fulham, we will ship 5 goals. So we have to massively improve, because this is a much bigger test.
Some people have put in the chat that Trossard's got away with his second yellow card. They can't do that. That's not in the laws. If it's 2 yellow cards, they can't appeal. Unless they've changed the law for Arsenal, I don't know. But I think that opens up a serious can of worms if they would ever do that. Kieran, thank you for your super chat. If we had Haaland, I would want him up front with Isak in a 4-4-2 formation. And we've got Keith Lee, who's been a member with us for 19 months. Thank you so much for your support, Keith. Really hope the team can push up a gear this weekend. With Rodney and KDB out, it couldn't be a better time to meet them. KDB's not definitely out yet. So
he's doubtful.
He's doubtful, yeah. He didn't play last week, of course. But Lewis's unpopular opinion, I think the Carabao Cup should be just for EFL teams. Premier teams always win the Cups, which is boring at this point. Plus, it gives smaller teams an actual chance.
Nope, I think that's nonsense.
Well, the first division and second have the EFL trophy, so that's their opportunity to get to Wembley. Plus, this is for a place in Europe, don't forget. There's a European place at stake for the winners of this competition, which is why I think teams are now starting to take it a little bit more seriously.
Well, we've got a lot of teams in the Championship and the Prem who aren't challengers get really far. You've got Watford in finals. We've had
Wigan, Cardiff. Wigan, yeah, there's been quite a few
teams that weren't even Prem teams.
You what, Billy?
Swansea won the Carabao 1 year.
Yes, they did. So
that's embarrassing. A Welsh team to win a trophy more recently.
Smaller teams, yeah.
Beat Bradford in the final, I believe.
Oh, did Bradford? I mean, it was the most uninspiring final you would ever see. Peter says if Bruno loses the ball at the edge of our box again, it's curtains. Well, hopefully he'll have learned his lesson on that one. Alessandro says he would play 4-2-3-1 with Kelly, Burn, Share, Trips at the back, Hall and Livramento as the two, as my 2. Isak, Bruno, Tonali as my 3, and Osula up as my 1.
Hang on a minute.
So you'd play Kelly, Burns, Shea, and Trippier. So obviously Kelly left back.
A
Then you-
4-2-2-1-1.
No,
Or is this-
4-2-3-1. So Haaland,
That's
Livramento
makes
as the 2. So sitting in front of the back 4, Haaland, Livramento. And then Isak, Bruno, and there's no midfield there, mate. We get pulverized.
There's no wingers for certain.
Bonkers.
Yeah, we'd get we'd get.
I mean, he has got an Italian name. He's gone absolutely he's gone balmy on defense, but that's mental.
Yeah. Kush to la Kush, as the sky is falling on Newcastle United, apparently. Yet come game week 6 and we can still go joint top of the league. What's all the negativity about?
Because we're playing crap.
Yeah,
People have been watching us.
yeah. Just note how many of the Newcastle United pundits have actually come out and said we've been playing terribly this season. Everybody can see it. Okay. Now, yes, we could go joint top if we beat Manchester City. It's a huge IF, by the way. But, people need to take the blinkers off and say that we haven't played well this season. Yes, the results have been okay because we've won games with thunder strikes. But come on, nobody can sit and tell me that we've played well this season. Nobody, because I think you really are with your happy clapper blinkers on. If you think we've played well all season, that's my opinion. You've got to be honest, and it's all right saying, yeah, we can go joint top. It's what strip away the surface, and we ain't played well. And at Fulham, hopefully, fingers crossed, that was a wake up call because Christ, we needed one. It should be for all clubs, not in the UEFA competitions, says John. Well, I mean, look, you can't just because you get in Europe, it means you get kicked out of a cup competition. I don't think that's very fair. Foden's been on the bench of late. Wonder if he starts on Saturday.
He started against Watford.
Yeah, he started. Yeah, but on the Premier League, he's been held back.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's because of the
because of the Euros. Yeah. Pedro says Bruno and Tonali in the 2, and Bruno stayed back as a 6, Tonali in an 8 to push up Gordon as a 10, with Barnes on the left, Murph on the right, with Isak just in front, so he's not isolated. I think that's the major challenge that Eddie Howe faces, Billy, is trying to stop Isak being isolated, because that's clearly been a problem this season. But Isak himself has got to work at it as well, hasn't he? He's got to improve by his challenges, his control, his passing. He's got to improve parts of his game as well.
Yeah, he needs options around him, though, doesn't he? I mean, if you've got no capacity, what's he supposed to do? We do have to get people up with Isak. Definitely, that's a definite. Some support for him through the middle that can run off him or run with him and feed him through if needs be, or run ahead of him if needs be, just to give him some kind of space. Because at the minute, he's not getting any space at all. He's not creating his own space, which is worrying. But at least he can get some help and maybe help him create space, which, if he gets some space, is lethal. We know that.
On Monday, says Alex, do you think our training has been too much or too mediocre? There seems to be no fervour on the pitch.
Couldn't tell you. The intensity doesn't seem like it's there right now, but is that down to training? We're several weeks into the season now. Training or no training, there should be a bit more oomph with everyone.
John says you need to overdose on hopium to think we're beating City based on this season's performances. Well, that's all we can base the performances on is obviously what we've seen this season. And no, it ain't been good enough. But Newcastle have had this thing, Billy, over the years where we seem to step it up against the big boys on more occasions than not.
Yeah, especially at home. It's the atmosphere of the crowd will lift the players. We will need it because I think we'll need to be at our very, very, very best to get anything out of Manchester City, and maybe hope that they're not quite there. So it's going to be hard work, but we do generally step up for the big games. That is definitely true. Whether it's good enough for this week, I'm not so sure.
Super chat in from Nick Thornton. Thank you, Nick. After the shit show at Fulham, there has to be a massive reaction from the players and from Howe. Well, that's what everybody will be looking for, is a reaction and see how we respond. But it's pointless just going out for the first 10 minutes and being up for it and then falling back into our shell again. That's what has happened far too many times this season, where we look really good in the first 10, 15, 20, whatever it may be. and then we just fold, Alex. For some strange reason, that intensity just completely disappears.
Yeah, it feels like naivety, overconfidence, ego. We like start controlling games. 10 to 15 minutes, we look good. We win duels. We get a few passing sequences going, and we look what we're about to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and then we just kind of bottle it almost. Yeah, we did it against Fulham. We had the ball in the back of their net, and then we just fell to bits. And it's a lot of mentality as well, and it's complacency. It's just because you're on top with the control of the game.
Yeah.
You have to be alert. You're in the Premier League. You can get punished in the blink of an eye, regardless of whether you're, one of these people that just thinks the big teams are the big teams. And there's a lot of. I'm trying to look for the right word here. Everybody thinks that we've got the God-given right, and we should be beating a lot of the lower teams in the Premier League. And I don't think certain people understand the quality in the Premier League nowadays. The promoted sides and people in the bottom half have got players 10 years ago, 15 years ago that they just would not have had. You've got players who are so much more technically gifted, stronger, faster, more clinical. The gap is narrowing. That's the word.
Yeah.
And you just got to be careful. You can be punished in one transition, two transitions. All of a sudden, you're 2-0 down. I mean, basically describing the Fulham game.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point from Steve there. Isak's on his own, not working. Get Gordon in and around him.
Without doubt. We need to get somebody around him. But I was going to make a point there. We tried pressing the first game against Southampton, and the promoted side were able to play through it quite easily. Since then, we've not seen it with such pressure, have we?
Do you know what? The weird thing is against Southampton as well. I mean, we all said after the game that we would have probably have come good. But then we've seen the rest of the game so far this season, and you have to say that game could have probably gone very differently. Southampton were completely on top before that sending off, and then we galvanised after that with a strong defensive performance, and obviously Joe Linton getting the goal. But I mean, it hasn't been. Teams have played through us far too easy, and hopefully that's what Eddie's been working at this weekend. I mean. We'll see tomorrow. His press conference is, of course, tomorrow morning. Me and Billy will be live with you at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So that's 11 a.m. We normally go 11:30, but it's 11 a.m. Yes, Billy. That means you've got to get your carcass up a little bit earlier. But you can't have a kip in the afternoon. Don't worry.
No, it's FIFA day tomorrow, isn't it? So I'll be up. Don't worry about that.
No, yes, it is. Yeah. I think I might be downloading that as well. So. 11 o'clock in the morning is our press conference reaction news show. So we'll see what Eddie has to say. And that's so make sure, even if you get YouTube on and watch us, we need your support, guys. So get on at 11 o'clock and join me and Billy for that one. Chat Sport says this City game is perfect for Newcastle to get a win. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we went and played like a dream and then won. But Manchester City are a very, very, very strong animal, Alex. Have you got some graphics there to have a look at?
I've got a few interesting bits, yeah.
While Alex is doing that, Peter Garthwaite has sent in a super chat. Thank you, Peter. Tonali won't start. Eddie won't change anything. Well, he's got to. He's got to. Oh, we've got predicted lineups.
This is not a predicted lineup. This is the last time we beat them.
Right. Okay.
In the Carabao Cup. So this is the last 11 we used that managed to beat Man City. And it did contain basically everybody we've still got, with the Matt Target, obviously probably not, very unlikely to be involved. Miley and Lascelles are injured. But, most of everybody else is technically available, and we managed to beat a rotated Man City squad. I say rotated, it was still very strong. They've got Grealish and Alvarez, Kovacic in midfield before he left for Chelsea. Rico Lewis and I guess Calvin Phillips, you wouldn't say is their strongest midfield. Joe Linton was an absolute beast in that game. And then just as a bit of a throwback, I've actually got the team that beat them under Rafa as well, which was the last win against them at St James's Park in the Premier League, as far as I'm aware.
Why do I feel pain? I feel dreadful pain. Matt Ritchie, left back. Oh, absolute bless his heart.
And R.I.P. Christian Atsu as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Although we still have a few players. We still have Dubravka, Lascelles, Cher, Longstaff. I mean, Hayden technically is still on the books. We just don't
Yeah.
use him. Very strange.
Wow.
In terms of Man City's recent games, then obviously this was their game against Arsenal, so their most recent Premier League game. So Rodri is not going to be a concern because he is definitely injured. Their previous back four was Guardiola, Akanji, Diaz, and Walker. I would probably expect the back four to remain unchanged. Ederson in goal. Erling Haaland up front. There's an argument to be made that it could be maybe Grealish somewhere in this starting lineup on the wings.
Foden could come in.
Foden could come in, but Gundogan and Silva. However, if I show you the Watford game in the cup, I'll show you who they used against Watford. So Grealish, Matheus Nunes, Foden, Doku, Rico Lewis. So yeah, fairly rotated. So players that could potentially come into the starting 11 for them against us, I would say probably Phil Foden and Jack Grealish are the two standouts. I think Rico Lewis would a lot of faith for him to be put into that starting lineup against us. I think it's unlikely. But I mean, who was on the bench?
Guardiola loves him, so you know.
England is national, of course.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, does Kovacic? I mean, it's who's going to play the Rodri role? Really, is a question that's been asked by a lot of people already. Some are saying Kovacic. Some are saying that Bernardo Silva might go back there. So it'll be interesting for me to see.
Well, are they going to play a three? They've got Gundogan, Kovacic, Silva.
I mean, they can play any formation the bloody one, can't they? And still be dangerous.
It'll be Kovacic for Rodri. That'll be the only change you'll see, I think, and maybe Grealish for Doku.
Yeah. Very, very
potentially
likely.
Foden for Savinho. I mean, I don't know.
On the right.
They could play Bernardo Silva on the right and Foden in behind them. Got loads of options, haven't they?
Yeah.
None of them.
It's fairly straightforward what they're going to play. I mean,
Niall makes a good point there, Alex. Rico Lewis has played most of their games this season.
Yeah, he might step in at left back. I suppose he could play left back, couldn't he?
Actually, I mean, we can check that. So,
pretty sure he has.
His recent fixture. We've got them against Inter in the Champions League, and they used Rico Lewis next to Rodri as a 2. Guardiola's gone with this back 3 stuff quite a lot. Interesting. Maybe we should keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I have a feeling he'll go that against us. You know, I don't know why, but he can put a lot of strong players on the pitch if he goes with the 3 centre backs.
Well, there you go. He's not got Rodri available there, and that's sorry pick. Get back to Alex.
What, the Brentford game?
Yeah, because he didn't have Rodri available, and that's what he went with.
Yeah, that's probably closer to what we'll see. Although you've got Guardiola that could play there.
Yeah.
And who else? Kovacic, Gundogan.
This is
basically
Bernardo Silva. Out, then Bernardo Silva would probably go in there.
Yeah, Doku or Bernardo Silva.
Yep. Or
Guardiola. So it's pretty nailed on what they're going to do roughly, unless he throws a curveball and plays a back 3 against us. And obviously, if you want to see, I mean, it still is a small sample size, but we've got City's data from the start of the season so far. They are rated as the best team so far, rating-wise.
Get away.
Most goals per match so far. They are down in 5th for goals conceded per match. Liverpool with the strongest defensive record at the moment. They are top of XG as well with 11.5. They've only got 1 clean sheet, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. So maybe we can get a goal as long as we're resolute. We might be able to nick some points from them. They are, of course, top with average possession. And this is what we were saying before we played Spurs, that Spurs are a lot more technically sort of sound than people give them credit for. They are 2nd in the league for average possession and Brighton 3rd. Highest amount of shots on target per match, again, very lethal. Down in 4th for big chances created. Manchester United with the most chances missed. That's funny. And then the rest of them don't really matter too much. Accurate long balls per match. Although an indication of Man City going a bit more direct than maybe they once used to. With 5th in the league, 23.8 long balls per match.
I mean, to be honest, you've got Haaland up front. He can just bring the ball down most of the time and start attacks for them, can't he? I mean, you know, he's a
Ederson as well, who's quite good at that. Accurate passes, of course. Southampton 2nd. I mean, I think that's maybe been inflated somewhat by the first game against us, but still quite impressive. You can see they're a technical side. Doesn't mean it will keep him in the league, though. And then the rest of them, not overly relevant. I mean, touches in the opposition box is outrageous at 240. Just out of curiosity, where are we? Oh no, we're on page 2. We're 16th. 104 touches in the
Well, that
opposition.
doesn't. I thought we might have been lower than that because we haven't. We're talking about Isak being isolated. We don't get a lot of touches in the penalty area at the minute. And
Everton have more, 119,
Yeah.
despite being rock bottom of the table and useless. So that's concerning. So yeah, Man City doing presumably Man City things. Here's the suspected injuries for both teams. We already know ours. The Sells and Botman have been out for ages. Wilson's still out. Miley's still out. And we can come back to this if you want to do this.
Oh, here we go.
Can we play them all?
Yeah, why not?
Unfortunately, we cannot use this many players now.
Damn it. Well, look, let's start off from goalkeeper forward, shall we? Well, obviously, Nick Pope will start the game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Now, right back. For me, I mean, this is what I would do. I'd play Kieran Trippier on Saturday. I think we need him in the side against Manchester City.
If it's Doku, I'd play Livramento.
Really?
Well, he played him fantastically last season, didn't he?
Yeah, but Livramento's been nothing sort of poor this season, Billy, to say the least.
Yeah, but we don't know who he's going to start. We don't know who Pep is going to start, so it's a gamble.
We don't. I mean, Grealish, Doku. I fancy Trippier against Grealish. Doku, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it is a bit of a gamble.
I mean, Doku's a bit of a wild one, isn't he? Because I mean, he's a bit sort of.
He's a bulkier Maxi, basically.
Well, yeah, he can do great things, and then the next time he gets the ball, he'll do something really poor. So, I've just put the kiss of death on that. He'll have man of match performance now.
You will, yeah. I'll go with Trippier as well.
Yeah, go with Trippier then. Probably need his leadership.
Well, Cushy's asking if we can just get the answers to get the results from the poll and go with that formation.
I mean, that's
not a bad idea. So let's have a look. Okay, what do you guys think the viewers went for?
Anything but 4-3-3, I guess.
A 4-2-3-1 probably won that.
It has indeed 4-2-3-1 with 44% of the votes. 20% were 4-3-3, a back 5 18 and 4-4-2 18 as well. So let's do the well, I guess we do the 4-2-3-1. So we'll do a 4-2-3-1 and then we'll do what Eddie will probably do and go 4-3-3. So we'll do a 4-2-3-1 first.
So Fabian Schär as the right-sided centre-half is a shoo-in, presumably.
Yes.
Left-sided centre-half in a back four.
I would play Lloyd Kelly because I think we need a bit of pace in between. I think we need pace in between the centre-backs.
Are we doing what we would like to see here? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I would play Kelly as a centre-half in this match.
And Lewis Hall left-back for me. Billy?
Yep. Yeah, I agree with both those.
Yep. Okay, so who's the two? It's got to be Bruno and Tonali, hasn't it?
I mean, the only problem is with this is I don't think we've got anybody good enough to play 10 in the way that we would like. I would be...
Miggy.
You're not funny. I would...
Hey, Bill even suggested that last week, didn't you, Bill? Now back me up here because that's where he plays for his country. Yeah.
I mean,
doesn't mean he does very well for his country, in it?
No, that's true. That's
Michael
didn't make any sense to play Isak there when he had Miggy on the bench to do it. It was odd. Very odd.
Michael McIntyre, thank you for your super chat. He says he had a dream last night. We won 5-0. Toon. That's probably what it will remain being, Michael, is a dream. Right, who we're going for the three?
I've got something that you're absolutely going to hate, but it's something I would probably do.
You're going to put Kraft in there, are you?
I would put Longstaff next to Bruno and put Tonali in front of them.
Okay, so it means that, one of, I mean, Willock, Joe Linton, who misses out.
I mean, I would not do this against City. I would not. A 4-2-3-1 is against City to try like it's absolutely insanity to even you got to experiment with
I
that
just think
pre-season.
I think 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. We are still letting the Alamo come through the middle of the park with us because it's been a problem.
Well, obviously, it doesn't look
I
like
think
this.
about a 4-3-3, which will turn to a 4-5-1 when they've got the ball, which will be 99.9% of the time.
That's a lot of the ball, Billy.
Who plays 10 though? This is the only problem with this kind of thing. We don't have anybody that can play 10. People are saying Gordon. Gordon is an out-and-out winger who can
Willock might work.
I don't think he's got the physicality to play that role. You could try him, but I just don't
know.
Especially not at this level.
I think Willock could pull defenders all over the place playing in a number 10 role.
It's not about pulling defenders all over the place. It's about winning the duels. And, if he's going to have Kovacic just constantly on him and a centre-half stepping up.
Yeah, but Kovacic is an old man. Willock's got the pace over him any day of the week.
But if you're closing the space and you get tight to someone, it doesn't matter how quick you are. It depends on what kind of game is going on around you.
We don't necessarily need a physical player at the 10. I mean, all the best 10s aren't physical, are they?
Yeah, but I don't think Willock's got the skill set to be able to wriggle away in that regard. Willock is quite good at maybe the odd turn out here and a driving run, but he can't do Foden stuff in that role. He's not got that.
I don't think any of our players can they?
Stephen says, Alex telling Paul no after listening to a year of ASM is hilarious. Put it in the clip, Susan. Stephen, you are the clip man. You can do the clips, matey. He's brilliant at putting them together.
Right. Fine, we can put Miggy in the 10 if you really want to put Miggy in the 10, and we'll see what happens.
We won't, because Eddie won't do it, will he?
Eddie won't do it, no.
We just
right, come on. Let's go to the 4-3-3. Then let's get we're proper heads back on here and just know that he's going to go 4-3-3. Unless he goes 5 at the back.
I mean, this is the only answer, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is, yeah. But I think he'll bring Longstaff in. I do, honestly.
For who, though, Billy? Tonali again?
Probably for Joe Linton.
I mean, Joe Linton's been really poor.
Yeah.
He can't moan for being dropped. I wouldn't drop him, but I mean, again, which way round do you play them? Because
I mean, Tonali's got the brilliance to play either right or left, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'd probably let Tonali, like you said, I agree. Let Longstaff do what he's used to, and Tonali's
seriously, guys, I can't believe we are sitting here with the players we have available, and we've still got Longstaff in the starting 11. I call bollocks. We can't.
Eddie Howe will pick him. Eddie Howe will pick him.
Yep. I know, but listen, I know Joe Linton's been shite so far this season, right? But his physicality is something we probably need in the middle of the park. Yes, Longstaff can offer something, but look, come on, are we being genuinely serious that he's gonna? No, I just can't take this shit no more, guys.
Listen, the past 2 weeks on this specific show, the Thursday night show, could you have predicted that Sandro Tonali wasn't going to start either of those games?
No.
Yeah, what happened?
He didn't start.
100%. So I think Longstaff will play.
Oh.
So you think Longstaff's going to play and Tonali's not going to start?
No, I think
Billy thinks Tonali will start, and it won't be Joe Linton.
I don't think this is really harsh for Tonali, though. We've had easier fixtures, and then he's going to put Tonali in for a start in the Lions' den.
He's got to, Alex. He's got
he should have done it 2 weeks
the best player in Italian football, and who Italy value as one of their best. Not playing against Manchester City will be sodden criminal, and if he doesn't, I will feel like jumping on that pitch before the match and running over Eddie Howe and calling him a buffoon to his face, because he's got to play.
Somebody's done that before. No, it ended badly.
Yes, it's hypothetical, Alex. You know what I'm saying. We have to play our best team, right? This is what does my head in so far this season, is the fact that we were all saying in the summer, and I've said this a million times already this season, that we are not in Europe. And the fact is, we can give the Premier League a really good go by playing our strongest 11 in the Premier League we possibly can, game in, game out. There is no excuse for not playing the best 11. And I know a lot of people have said that Eddie doesn't know his best 11, and I perfectly agree with that as well. But let's be fair, guys. We have to start playing our top players against the top teams. Surely to God.
We agree. I think we agree, but we all know that that's not going to happen.
Right, what do we think Eddie Howe's going to do?
Because Dan Burn will definitely be playing, no doubt about that.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Let's change this up to what we think Eddie Howe's going to pick. So, I mean, he's going to pick Dan Burn, isn't he? So...
Honestly, stick a baboon's fucking penis up my ass. I am sick to death of the same fucking 11 week in, week out, where we predict because we predict what Eddie's going to do. And it's always Longstaff. It's always bloody Burn. We need our best top players at the very, very best to start. Fuck me.
Slip Miggy in for Gordon, Alex.
Oh, God.
Are you?
Going to have a nervous breakdown.
Hey, listen, I'm feeling like shit tonight, right? And you doing that to me is not making me feel any better. Put it that way.
I mean, we could always do that.
Livramento left. Why?
I'm just really not happy with Hall's pace or an inability to finish a game from last time, especially with like Savinho and stuff.
Do you know what?
Hall
May as
was
well
really
take Tonali out and put Isaac Hayden in, for God's sake. We may as well do that.
I mean,
Honestly.
I've got Isaac Hayden up here somewhere. There he is.
He can remain as a bloody question mark as well.
Doesn't have a squad number, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't
in all
shock me if he
seriousness,
goes
guys,
back 12.
this is what we've got to see. We've got to. Eddie aside, right? We as fans want to see our best players start, especially against the best teams. And let's just.
Yeah. People stop asking me to put Asula in as well. He's going to play against Wimbledon. He's not.
There's
gonna play
no way
against Man
Asula
City.
starts. No way in hell.
Do we think
We
he's
don't
going to
know,
go to a
do we?
back five?
Well, if he
Potentially.
does,
Didn't he do that at Man City in the Cup last year? Did he?
I'm not sure.
It went
He might
tits up
have,
anyway, didn't it?
I mean, we can have a look.
But you know what it is? I don't mind that the 5-3-2 or the 5 whatever it is. I think that's quite a strong lineup.
No,
Five.
it wasn't. It wasn't because I've got last year's lineup. No, it wasn't a back five. It wasn't a
In
back
the FA Cup.
I can't. Oh yeah, because we played him in both blooming cups, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, of course we did.
remember Willett was totally dragged out of position every.
When did we play them? So we beat Sunderland. Was it before
February?
then?
Yeah, we beat Fulham as well, didn't we?
And then we've
So it would
got.
have been March, I'd say.
Nathan's asking why play a back 5 at home.
Because it's Man City.
It's Man City, mate. We're trying to get a result here.
So we beat Sunderland 3-0 in the FA Cup, and then we beat Fulham, and then we beat Blackburn. Oh yeah, of course we did. And then there it is. 2-0 loss against Man City. We tried we did try a back five. You are right. We tried this.
Wow.
And it didn't work. We lost 2-0.
Yeah, but we had
Goal scorers of
we had Lascelles, Murphy, Dan Burn all playing out. Well, not Lascelles, but Murphy and Burn at fullbacks. And Longstaff and Willock in front of them. They were both dreadful, weren't they?
Longstaff was awful. He kept defensively too much responsibility on his shoulders. He's not a very good defensive player.
Nick Thornton, thank you for your super chat. He says it'll be 4-3-3 with all the usual suspects. Burn and Kelly will start, as will Bruno, J7, and Eddie's love child Longstaff. He's a one-dimensional manager.
Yeah, is Sean absolutely dead certain he's from North Shields and he's not got like a... Yeah, he's not adopted from Bournemouth, is he? Where's Eddie Howe from? Is he from Liverpool?
Let's not start those rumours, Alex. Let's move on quickly from that. Look. Go back to the lineup. That to me doesn't look too bad. I think we can offer something going forward, and it'll tighten things up a little bit more defensively. They're not going to come through us as easy when we've got 3 centre backs in the side.
We played 3 centre backs in the game we just looked at, but yeah. We've got two natural fullbacks as wing backs.
Antonelli in the team instead of Longstaff.
I mean, there's an argument to be made not to play a 5-2-3. You could say maybe just stick Isak and Gordon up front and maybe have like Joe Linton in here somewhere to just maraud and just...
I'm sorry. No. Harvey Barnes needs to start. He's on fire. One of the few players that's on fire, and we want to take him out the side?
Wait, it's purely just to give us a bit more...
Well, you can purely reverse it. Thank you very much, Alex.
Purely belter.
But come on, he's one player that's a shining
That
light.
doesn't look a bad side, actually.
I don't mind that at all. I think that would give
a lack of pace down the right side of the defence, but
yeah. But
I like how Adnan as well is saying he would play a 3-4-3. Mate, I'm sorry, but no matter what you spin
3-4-3.
Right. I can move them like this if it makes it look nice for you, but that is not what it's going to look like come game day, because Trippier and Hall are going to be back there, and it's going to be a back five.
Yeah, but maybe we could transition into a 3-4-3 in attack.
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
But that's what that does anyway. Yeah.
It'll be a 5-4-1, and Isak will be isolated. That's what it'll be.
If we get a counter attack on the left hand side, it's going to start looking like that anyway. So, and Gordon will be at the back post, and that's what it will start to look like. And people will shift up and shift across. It's going to do that naturally. It will organically kind of evolve into that shape. You don't, just saying 3-4-3. You can say that as much as you want. It doesn't mean you're going to be offensive in the game.
But as well, let's not forget that we're trying to put a formation together to try and get something out of the game. We have to take who we're against into a lot of Man City can play through any formation. Let's be honest. They can play through any formation at all. It's how the players on the day respond. And they need to respond after what happened at Fulham. They need to play better than they played all season. Because if we play anywhere like we've played so far this season, we will get an absolute tonkin. And we all know that.
You just have to play better. I think if we can get the fans on side, if we can clean up some of the mistakes, a bit more intensity, a bit more umph, show some positivity and some progress.
I don't want to see players dropping the shoulders, giving up on running for balls and things like that, and actually, sulking, which I think a few of them did against Fulham. I want to see Fabian Schär back to his normal self. No, not this. I can't give a shit today. Lewis Hall, if he plays, he's got to be switched on for the whole game. They all do. They all need to be at peak performance. It's Manchester City. Anybody not at peak performance will sort of just phase out the game completely. But one thing we need to do, Alex, and I think you're very, very right about this, is get the crowd in the game, because we know St James's Park, when they're up for it, can be a hell of a stadium. But I tell you something now, if we play like we've been playing, that place will be like a library again. After about 10 minutes into the game, if Manchester City are dominating, it will go quiet.
Yeah, well, it's down to chances, isn't it? It's down to putting in a good tackle. It's if you do the right things, it's quite easy to get a Geordie crowd up and running. And I'd say the crowd have been responsible for 40-50% of our points this season, because the crowd have gotten behind the team, and that's given them a bit more tenacity. Southampton is a perfect example of the players were like, sod this, we want justice, we're going to win this. And they wanted it. They wanted the points. So if we can get the crowd behind us, the team really do respond to that. But they're professionals. They should be able to switch it on. We can't. Tricky one.
Just a little tweak there, Stat. I put Burn and Kelly, swap them round. I want to see Kelly in the middle.
I don't know about that. Why do you want to see Kelly in the middle?
Because you've got pace. There's no point having pace on one side of the pitch and then nothing in the middle. You put Burn and Schär together, you've got a distinct lack of pace in the middle of the defence. So
there is
got some pace, and he can pass it better than Burn if need be.
By the way, guys, Jared Gillett is the referee, the Australian guy.
He is.
Bloody great,
New Zealand.
He's Australian.
Is he not? Is he not from New Zealand?
Bloody Australian, mate.
He's Australian.
Is he?
Yes, he's going to check that, Billy, just to make us look like fools. But it's him that's going to be looking like the fool that he is.
Was it that he was? I could have sworn it was, because I remember I watched the clip of him because he did the mic'd up thing.
Well, the
didn't
only
he,
thing that's
before
going to
he
be a
left?
clip is you in a couple of minutes, Alex, when you realise he is from Australia.
I mean, he's very well might be, but I'm pretty sure.
He's determined to find it. Look, Ashley Renarde, thank you for your super chat. Only Barnes only Gordon or Barnes should start. Square pegs, etc.
Playing one of them in the right. I'll see what he means.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, the only other option is Murphy and Miggy. No. Did you find out, Alex?
No, I can't find it. Sorry.
You're a liar.
No, he is Australian, but I do remember distinctly in that clip them mentioning New Zealand. So maybe he was in New Zealand. I don't know. Misheard it.
Was it about Chris Wood?
It's been a long week for Alex, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is now time for those all-important score predictions, guys. Get them in the chat. Let's see what you guys are fancying for Saturday. Don't forget, it is a lunchtime kickoff. Billy will be on air with you from midday and full commentary of the game from 12:30 at kickoff. I will be at the game. I will do my reaction, obviously, to it afterwards, and then we'll have the review of the game on Sunday night at 7 o'clock, of course, as usual. Pedro's going 2-2. I've just seen a 6-1 to City, 3-1 City, 2-2 draw, 4-1 to City, 3-1 to City, 4-0 to City, 2-0 to City, 3-0 to City, 3-0 City. Wow, 6-0 to City.
As well, Susan's just told me that my mic wasn't coming through my microphone for the entire show. So sorry, guys, for coughing at you the entire time. I thought my microphone was muted and it obviously wasn't. Thanks for telling me, you two.
I did think it sounded a bit weird, Alex, but yeah.
Okay. Never cough on the mic. It's because I was doing this and obviously nothing was happening because it was going through my laptop. Never mind. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, it does sound a lot better now, right in time for the end of the show. I've just seen a 7-0 City, 4-1 City. Mark Cooper's going 3-2 to the Toon. Foxy's gone 6-2 to City. David Smith, 2-0 City. Stephen Harker, 2-2. Oh, my God. Right. Alex, we'll start with you first. What are you going for tonight?
2-1 loss.
2-1 loss?
Mm-hmm. Oh. I think we'll be better. I think we'll score. Again, they've only got one clean sheet this season, as we saw. I think we will score, but I don't think we've got enough in this game. I mean, the last time I predicted us to lose was against Spurs, and we beat them. So hopefully this helps.
Well, Maxi's gone for a 3-0 win. Thank you, Maxi.
Well, you're not here, Maxi, so that's not happening, is it? Yeah, 2-1 loss, and I think the goal will be scored by... I'm going to go with Sandro. Why not?
Michael McIntyre is following his dreams. He's going 5-0. Aki says 1-1. To coin a phrase, 4-3 defeat. Oh, what a game that would be. But I don't like 4-3s. Jack Sparrow, 3-2 to City. Paul Evans, 3-2. Get your bets on. He doesn't say 3-2 to who, though. Marvin says 2-1 Toon. We're not going to lose. I felt this in our turnaround. I felt this is our turnaround game. Pound for pound boxing says 1-1 with Tonali scoring for us. 2-0 says Sean. Barnes and Tonali on the score sheet. Sam's gone 3-1 to Manchester City. Definitely going with a head and not a heart for this one. 1-0 says Matt with a Dan Burn header. You'll be lucky, son. If he heads it from maybe sort of 6 yards to the right of the goal, he might get his 50 pence head on it to direct it in the net. You never know. I'm only playing. I hope he does score, actually. 3-1 City says JT Toon. Thomas says 2-1 Toon. Jack Tonali last minute winner for a 2-1 win. Kieran 6-1 to City. Jesus. Joe says I want 2-0, but will be a 3-0 loss. Billy, what are you going for?
I expect to see our best performance of the season. However, I don't think it'll be enough to beat Man City. I think 3-0 Man City.
Oh, Billy. Paul Evans says, Paul, I said 3-2. Or 2-3. So does that mean you're going for Manchester City? Okay. Some people don't put that, I get what you're saying. 3-0 to City, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you? How dare you on a Newcastle United channel put 3-0 to City? I've gone 4-0 to City. Look, in all seriousness, I think if we turn up and give them a game, maybe 2-1, 3-1 to City, but if we play like we've been playing, it's going to be 4-0 and we'll get destroyed. Listen, there's nothing this season giving me the confidence that we're going to play well. I mean, if we'd had that cup game in midweek and we could have, put a few of the starting 11 out and let them get some confidence up.
Yeah, we needed that. That's not
then yeah. But I think if I'm sitting here now as a Newcastle fan, looking at the performances this season and thinking, what are we going to be against Manchester City? How can I possibly say, oh yeah, we've been playing well enough to beat City? Because we haven't. What we could do is actually on the day turn up, change our season around, and put in a performance. And this can be the start of something special this season, providing, and it's a big but, Eddie plays the right starting lineup, because he's got to get this starting lineup right this time, guys. He's got to. Because I don't think he's going to be afforded the chance at half-time to make changes to put his mistakes right. He's got to get that starting lineup right.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we do have to be somewhat, there's been so many occasions where we've said he needs to be brave enough to change at halftime. We can't then continue to crucify him for making those changes at halftime. But yeah, the point still stands that if 2 games in a row you're making that many halftime changes, plan A was not good enough.
Yeah.
I agree. He's got to get it right. And people saying we're being negative. I mean, we've not beat Man City at home since 2019.
Oh,
so
it's not being negative,
realism.
man. It's just been realistic.
It is. We'd love to win, and we're trying to figure out how we could
Newcastle
win.
fans, I want to see us blitz them, to be honest. I want to see us hammer them and be all over the front pages saying, oh, Newcastle United stuff Manchester City at St James's Park. I want that more than anything. But
I think last season we predicted wins because we were off the back of that start against Villa. We beat Villa 5-1. There was a great feeling. We looked good.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we predicted wins last year, whereas now it's a very different feeling. So I think it's fair to...
It's not been negative. It's realistic and honest opinion, because we haven't played well this season. Yes, we scraped wins, absolutely, but nobody can tell me we played well. And if we play like we have been, we will get stuffed. And any proper fan will know that. But those of you with the happy clappy blinkers on that go like this, oh yes, you can't do any wrong. You've got to be realistic about things, man. But if we go into that game on Saturday and we play to the very best of our ability, and the players turn up, Eddie picks the right team, then we've got a chance. Of course we have. Of course we have. And I'll be there on Saturday shouting my heart out for the lads, as I do at home games and as we do in commentary. And every fan will do the same. But we have to turn up and we have to get the starting 11 right. But that's a big if, given what's happened so far this season. But if we win the game and play well, we're all going to be jubilant, because I think it'll be the turnaround of the season. It can put us in a much better frame of mind moving forward. No doubt about it. Get into them from minute one. Get stuck into them. Let them twist. Get Grealish crying to the referee. Just batter them. Batter them. And they don't like it. So that's what I would say. I'd just simply sit in the dressing room and go, lads, just batter them. Get in the faces. Batter them. Batter them for 10 minutes. Play our football. Get into the game and fucking go for it. Don't sit back. Don't take it up the arse. Get in there. That would be my team talk anyway, guys. I don't know about you, but anyway, that is the show for tonight, guys. Thank you for backing me up, fellas. I really appreciated that.
No, I agree 100% with you. I think that is the way to go. But I think even us doing that, I don't think we'll get a result out of the game.
Well, we need to be careful. It needs to be channeled aggression. It needs to be the right kind of pressing.
That's exactly what I mean, though, Alex. The right aggression at the right time, of course.
Yes, because if we concede an early goal in the first 5 or 10 minutes, then all of a sudden that energy dissipates and it's done. So we need to be very careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That is it for tonight, guys. Don't forget, me and Billy are back at 11 a.m. in the morning with the press conference reaction. We'll discuss what Eddie Howe had to say, if there's any major talking points from it, which there normally is, to be fair, this season. Don't forget to keep voting for us in the Football Content Awards. The link is pinned in the description just below us. If you're watching this on a replay, it will still be there. Don't forget, this show will be a podcast in about an hour's time. It'll be on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you want to listen to the show through your headphones and not through your eyeballs, it will be on the podcasts in about an hour's time. Remember, you can vote in the Football Content Awards via Twitter as well. If you just tag at FCAs and then say, I'm voting for at the Toon Review. And that will count as a vote as well if you want to go that way. But don't forget to give us a like before you leave if you've enjoyed the show, guys. And of course, subscribe if you're new, whether you're watching now or on a rerun. Please do subscribe. We're almost at 32,500 subscribers now, so it'll not be long, hopefully, before we hit the 33 mark and then continue onwards after that. But thank you for your Super Chats memberships. Mods, brilliant job again. Thank you to Alex and Billy. Thank you, Sam, for your prediction. We'll see Sam tomorrow night. And thank you to you guys. It's been a very good show tonight again. Hopefully, we can do something against Manchester City, but we'll see what Eddie has to say in the morning. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, guys. Good night.
Top-sighted man for it and all that, carry on.
Come back and check on see breathing.